Hello, and today I'd like to talk about how we can use a small partimento called versetti to improve our contrapuntal skills and maybe to improve our improvisation skills too, right? So first of all, a verset is nothing more than a small partimento that in the past, especially organists used that small partimento to play in the service of the church and to create little improvisations in some moments in the service of the church. So this kind of partimento is very useful to because especially because they are very small and we have less information to struggle, right? First of all, as a first approach is good. Start playing just chords, right? And of course, uh, you need it's good to start playing just the bass, right? And then we will start playing just chords, and that chords is always according to the rule of the octave, because rule of the octave is the foundation of that music, right? And baroque music and classical music, romantic music, right? So first we need to choose what will be our starting point, right? And I will choose starting here with that disposition, right? I'm thinking the most part of the time in three voices. So that is my three voices: C, E, C, right? That's my beginning. Then my middle voice did this, and the top voice, right? As you can see in the next bar, we have a suspension, a 7, right? And that 7 needs to be prepared. And I can prepare the 7 from the previous chords, from the G chord, right? So I will play this, and I can put the 5 here, and that 5 will become my 7. And I resolve in the 6. Then in the next phrase we have that we called the printer, that is a descendant bass, a descendant tetrachord starting from the fourth degree. 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So here we have 4, 3, 2, 1. But in that case, we have a little G in the middle of the sequence, but it's the same. It still will be a printer, right? So in the third bar we have a prepared 7 too, and I will prepare that 7. And I forgot a little detail. In the rule of the octave, in the fourth degree, it's common to use the 6 and the 5, right? Play 6 and 5. But in that case, in the printer, it's good not use the 6, but just 5. So it will be a 3-5 chord. Then that little eighth note will be a 6 chord, and that 6 will become my 7 in the next bar, and I will but I will play that 7 here, right? third in the middle voice, right? Right? And then that 7 here will be solved in the next chord, in the third of the next chord. Again, the prisoner. And if I want, I can put the 7 in G, in the G chord, right? The prisoner again. Dominant 7, and that dominant 7 needs to resolve in the third of the next chord, right? So from the beginning until that point. Here I'm thinking just in chord, but taking care with the voice leading, especially with the voice leading, because is that way that we practice our counterpuntal skills, right, in the instrument. In the next phrase we have a complete descendant scale, and that scale has a changing of rhythm, right, of values, because before we had bigger values, and then we have sequences of 8 notes, right? And in the partimento tradition, most of the part of time, that sequence of 8 notes means an opportunity to create imitation. So, for example, I can play that scale here, like this. I can change the octave, for example. I need to use my imagination and what works well for your finger, right? So, and how we'll do an imitation here? Using parallel thirds, right? So, for example, I will use the first 2 notes as a motive, right? As a, if we will talk in terms of a fugue, like my subject, and then the answer in the high voice, the top voice, in parallel third. Right? And I played that 6 as passing tones. Also, I can, as I said, I can change the bass if I want to create a different effect. For example, or here. Right? I can use this. And then for the last thing, we have a cadence, right? In the cadence, I will play my 6/3 chord. For example, I stop it here. I will play 3/5 chord. Then a little tonicization in the 5th degree. I will play the 6, then 5, diminished 5. That diminished 5 will become my 4th. Again, the cadence. we have played that realization in chord and chords, thinking in contrapunto passage, thinking in voice leading, right? We can practice with a more fun way, playing this like a little prelude, right? So, for example, I would play like this. So I use some kind of figuration to play that little prelude, to improvise a little prelude. And for as a last stage, after you get very confident with that bass, you can maybe try a little modulation in the end, and using the beginning of the partimento, for example, until the third bar, to modulate and play the idea in the fifth degree. For example, in the cadence. And now I will repeat the same pattern of the beginning, but in G major now. And if I want, I can come back to C major. Right? But the main goal here in the video is just the contrapunto idea, right? But if you can create a lot of things like that, right? So this video is more free, without a lot of edition. So if you like this content, please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and if you are interested to learn how to learn partimento in plucked strings, classical guitar, or early music instruments, and you can contact me in the link below in the description, or you can send me an email, right? So see you next.